US-India relations have thrived over the past 4 years, due in part to a very public bromance between Donald Trump and Narendra Modi. Joe Biden is also very familiar to many in the Indian government. But as Neha Punia reports, it is his running mate, Kamala Harris, that people are enthusiastic about.
For several decades, the biggest market for Sanjay Likha's leather business was the United States. The handbags being made here are sold by some of the biggest luxury brands the world over. But last year, when Donald Trump revoked a special tariff regime for 2,000 Indian products, it dealt Mr. Likha's business a heavy blow. The bespoke leather handbags being made here could no longer enter the US duty-free, and a year on, his business has taken a 20% hit.
There were certain orders which got shifted away from us to other countries where, which had a better trade agreement with the United States. And so in turn, that business moved away. But what I would purely want to see is an administration that is friendly to India.
Mr. Likha says he's hoping that whoever wins in November will be able to stitch together a trade deal with India. Despite the bonhomie between the two leaders, Donald Trump has accused India of limiting market access for American firms and charging very high tariffs. New Delhi's $17 billion trade deficit with its largest trading partner has also irked the American president. Both are close to concluding an initial limited trade package. India now claims that a mini deal is ready to be signed. The US is likely to get greater access for its dairy and pharmaceutical products. India, in exchange, wants to fully restore the duty-free export of 2,000 products. But the bigger question is, will this trade deal hold after the elections, or will the Indian government have to go back to the negotiating table? Experts argue that with the American economy hit by COVID-19, a Joe Biden presidency might see the US demanding more market access, but tariff wars might be a thing of the past.
Possibly Biden could be a little less protective on some of these issues, though I think the protectionist trend in the US, again, is not just a Trump phenomenon. It is driven by a whole kind of working class, which feels that they have been left behind by globalization. He's also said that he will have a more liberal immigration policy.
It's likely that a second term for Donald Trump might usher in stricter immigration rules. He's already suspended the H-1B visa program till the end of 2020. More than 70% of these visas are usually awarded to skilled Indian IT workers. But US watchers have cautioned that while Joe Biden and Kamala Harris could be more flexible on immigration, they might also be a lot more critical of India's human rights record than Trump has been. Irrespective of who wins, India-US ties in the future could be dictated largely by China's actions in the region. Indian and Chinese troops have clashed several times in the past few months, and the border remains tense and active.
Right now, the Indian government would be quite pleased with the Trump administration and the approach they've taken, which is to support India diplomatically and in some security cooperation senses as well as calling China out. Now, they will have questions about a Biden administration. Will it take the same approach to China, or at least the same view of China, a more competitive view, perhaps with a different approach? But the balance will matter.
It's President Trump's strong stance against China that has endeared him to many supporters of Prime Minister Modi, who are praying for his re-election. But this time, with Kamala Harris in the fray, many Indians are excited at the prospect of an Indian American entering the White House.
Hope and pray she wins to improve the situations and current scenario, to bring two countries together, building the relationships economically and socially. In every way it will help India and US.
There are a lot of issues with, of course, immigrants happening in the US and with their visa and everything. So maybe she could negotiate and, she would be in a good position to do so.
Whether it's President Trump again or President Joe Biden, experts agree that India is important to the US economically and a balance to China's growing might in the Indo-Pacific. Neha Punia, CNA, New Delhi.
Thank you all for joining.